Ozempic, GLP-1 drugs. Interestingly, so this is something that I don't know if many people were aware. A lot of these drugs were actually originally designed to support blood sugar control and diabetes management because they can actually help to manage the insulin response when it comes to blood sugar. And so obviously that is one of their mechanisms of operation. And that's really helping also with the weight loss as well. So these medications have been around for many years, but now they are being used also to support weight management. I don't know if many people were aware of that, but so the blood sugar actually is one of those topics that is actually quite key when it comes to weight management. And people don't realize it, that actually you could be exercising, doing all these different things, doing all these different diets, but if you're not able to manage your blood sugar, that can actually lead to weight gain. And that could be the reason why you might have got to this stage. This is why you're here. And obviously, they're now taking these GLP-1 medications, and that's obviously influencing their weight. Why am I talking about this? Obviously, we talk about blood sugar, and blood sugar really is the body's way of managing its key energy source, glucose, so to keeping it steady so that you don't have these spikes and crashes. But obviously, for a lot of people, habits, the way they eat, the type of foods that they're eating have caused them to have a lot of these highs and lows. And that in turn has led them to where they are now. But along with food, stress can also impact your blood sugar. And this is where deep-rooted stress, if it's not been addressed, when you're coming off of Ozempic or you're coming off of these GLP-1 drugs, your body has still got that same stress response that it had before while you were on Ozempic. Ozempic was masking the blood sugar, the insulin, but the stress response was still there, and you've not really addressed that. And your stress response actually also raises blood sugar. And that in time can lead to weight gain. And that's why we talk a lot about things like menobelly and stress belly, because it is really the stress that is caused or is one of the reasons why people put on weight around middle area. Probably gone into a lot of detail.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I think,
Mm.
and part of this program really is to look at the stress being, because it comes up in so many different areas. When it comes to the well-being, your body allows you to absorb minerals because the stress factor just comes in all aspects. But your blood sugar is a big one, I think, for people.
It is a big one. Could be doing all of these different things. So you could be really being careful about what you're eating. But if you are not managing the stress, because what is stress doing? It's raising cortisol, it's raising adrenaline, it's mobilizing your resources, which means it's releasing sugar into the bloodstream because it needs that quick energy.
Mm,
And
mm,
obviously,
mm.
over time, if you've got this constant blood sugar rising, then body can't cope with that after a while. And this is where you start seeing weight gain. So while you're on these drugs, you've got a bit of that being masked with those drugs. Maybe the reason you might have got to this stage is because because there was blood sugar dysregulation, you weren't able to manage it. And one of the drivers maybe behind it was along with your eating patterns.
Yeah, because if you're stressed, automatically, subconsciously, you're like, I need more energy to get through this task. I have to finish work and go and pick up my children. But right, let me take a quick fix, which is usually a snack, something just to give you that boost of energy.
Mm.
You shouldn't really be eating, but it's available, it's quick, it's going to give you that boost. So it almost seems like a endless loop that we can't get out of.
Mm.
Was the stress is saying, feed me because I need to do so many things by the time I can get to bed. And then
So it is that blood sugar regulation that needs to be well managed and stress along with eating patterns, stress. And I recently have been wearing a CGM and I have to admit I lost my passport yesterday and I've been a bit frantic looking for it. And just seeing my blood sugar rising because I'm looking for my passport, I'm stressed. And this is what we don't realize, that you can do all these things. And I've come across people that don't eat. They minimize the amount of food they eat or the amount of meals they're eating, the frequency, because they want to minimize the blood sugar spike, support their weight gain or manage their weight gain. But if you're not looking at the stress that's also influencing it, you could be doing all these wonderful things and eating the great food, but that stress, if it's constantly spiking you, that's
And the thing is, life is so ever changing. Nothing is constant. It is. You will say, "Oh, every day brings a new dilemma," and this is mentioned about losing a passport. But can you imagine having a difficult conversation on a daily basis with somebody or another? That will be a higher spike, I reckon. Teens dealing with teens.
it's accumulated. It becomes it's an accumulation as well because you've not just got one thing. There are many layers, and
Yeah.
your body itself is not able. Body holds onto stress, and if you don't have the ability to tap into and manage it, and this is where the program is. My program really, it's so powerful because you've got your side of it, which you'll be looking at, and how do we really address what is deeply rooted within us person. And at the same time, then we'll also be looking at what is your blood sugar doing? How is it? Because some people genetically are more prone to this. So you need to know predispositions are, but also how do you manage it? Because the
Mm.
drugs are already taking you to a certain point, and then even part of it is you taking it forward yourself.
Brilliant. I think very well said. So, we're all about change and transformation. Join us. All the links are going to be given below. We have a masterclass this week on the 19th, or you can join us directly for the program, the 7-week program, which is also in our bios. And follow us. Hope to see you there. Thank you.